Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. We finally have the full set of Rise of Shadows revealed. Next week we're going to actually get to play with all the cards, but this is a perfect time to start theory crafting. And in this video I'm going to take a look at all of the Warlock cards, all the neutral cards that are relevant to Warlock, and what kind of Warlock decks we could build in Rise of Shadows. Finally, this is the full set of Warlock cards that we're getting in Rise of Shadows. So, what is Warlock really getting? There's Darkest Tower, destroy all friendly minions, for each one summon a random minion from your deck. In order to make this work, you'll have to be able to create some kind of token boards and then replace those with actual minions, big minions from your deck. I don't really see how you can make that card work. Then there's Jumbo Imp, that's an interesting one. This is from the final reveal stream. A 10 mana 8/8 demon that costs 1 less whenever a friendly demon dies while this is in your hand. So sort of a corridor creeper, but the discount is limited much more because it's only friendly demons that die. So there's potential for this to be really powerful. But it also needs a deck that's really built around it. We'll see about that one. Then more cards from the last reveal stream. This Inferno, 3 mana, give your demons +1 attack, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So there's lots of this Demon 2 type of deck support here. And then some little healing with Aranasi Brood Mother, 6 mana 4/6 Demon Taunt. When you draw this, restore 4 health to your hero. But we're losing cooldown, so can Control Warlock have enough healing? Tough to say. But there's at least a way to draw Aranasi Broodmother more with the plot twist, for example. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw that many cards. And these also go together with the new legendary Fellowlord Betruk. Whenever you draw a minion, summon a copy with Rush that dies at the end of turn. So slower Warlock decks are getting this type of shuffle and reshuffle and draw synergies, and 2 type of decks are getting these demon synergies. Then there's Evil Genius, a very powerful 2-drop. 2 mana 2/2 Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion to add 2 random lackeys to your hand. That's a really ideal 2 card. Some more potential 2 or demon synergies with Farm Scheme, summon 1 imps, then upgrades each turn. And then a very interesting card, the Archvillain Rafam. 7 mana 7/8 Taunt, Battlecry, replace your hand and deck with legendary minions. Potential for 2, potential for control builds, can be used to counter something like Bomb Warriors. Very flexible card that can potentially see play even in every Warlock deck, I think. So we're getting this shuffle, draw, redraw support, and we're getting this Demon 2 support. That's the Warlock theme for this expansion. There are also some interesting neutral cards that can support Warlock, because there's a bunch of neutral demons coming in, which usually hasn't been the case. Especially these 2 are pretty interesting, Portal Keeper and Portal Overfiend. Both have Battlecry, shuffle 3 portals into your deck, when drawn summon a 2/2 demon with Rush. So these could go into these plot twist shuffle type of decks pretty easily. They might go into some mid-range type of decks. They synergize with stuff like Solariums. I haven't really figured out how to make the best out of these, but they're definitely something that I want to look into when we get deeper into the expansion. Then we have another demon, Mad Summoner, 6 mana 4/4 Battlecry, fill each player's board with 1/1 imps. But if you have some of those Jumbo Imps in your deck, so when your 1/1 imps die, your 8/8 becomes cheaper, then the cost of having some stuff on your opponent's side of the board doesn't feel that bad necessarily. Also, if you have a minion on the board that you can use to trade into something and get rid of it, this might be a great way to get some Sea Giants on the board as well. Lots of board flooding going on. And then there's Safeguard, which is kind of like a new Sludge Belcher. This looks like an incredibly powerful Taunt minion. 6 mana 4/5 Taunt with Death Rattle to summon a 0/5 Taunt. That's a lot of health to push through. And it's a mech. Warlock doesn't benefit from that too much, but some other classes will. And even more neutral, potentially also demonic support, because the Henge Clan Hag, 4 mana 3/3 Battlecry, summon 2/1/1 amalgams with all minion types. Well, those amalgams are also demons, so there can be demon synergies, more 2 potential. And another potential 2-drop for Zoo in Henge Clan Hogstead. 2 mana 2/1 rush with a death rattle to summon a 1/1 Murloc. There's just a lot of good 2-drops for Zoo right now, so this has a lot of competition, but it's definitely one card that has potential. So all of this keeps up with the theme of this shuffle, reshuffle, draw, or then just tokens and Zoo, maybe with demons. And the most obvious or clear ways to start building Warlock decks in Rise of Shadows is to build various Zoo decks. And there are lots of variants that you can build. It's not at all obvious yet what is going to be the replacement to this Keleset Healed Zoo that was dominant in Rastakhan's Rumble and it's now going away with standard rotation. For example, I built a Mech Zoo recently. I built a rotation-proof version of Mech Zoo, and you can already find a video of that on this channel. And upgrading the Mech Zoo for Rise of Shadows is pretty simple, because the only card that Mech Zoo wants is the Evil Genius. Maybe there would be room for something like Henge Clan Hag, so there's always some kind of a chance for that. And then there is the Rafam. Is Rafam something that you want to put in every single Warlock deck? I could see an alternative where you cut one more Harvest Golem and you cut the Replicating Menaces, and then you put in the Henge Clan Hack and you put in the Arch-Villain Rafam. So if you really want, you could kind of put in 5 new cards into Mech Zoo. But the real question is Mech Zoo powerful enough to warrant running it over other Zoo archetypes? Because there are several potential ones. Another alternative would be to put in a little bit of these demon synergies, try to get in stuff like the Mad Summoner, Inferno, this sort of thing going on. While still not going very deep into demons, so no jumbo imps, but still maintaining Sea Giants and of course using the Rafam here. So this type of Zoo would be like a halfway point between the Mech Zoo's token synergies, but not the mechs, but the other token parts of that deck, and starting to introduce some of that demonic synergies into the deck. Or this could be taken even further, and it would be possible to build a full-on demon Zoo. Then you might want to try stuff like Rafam's scheme, maybe even Fiendish Circle, and Void Analysts. Just getting a lot more of that demonic output out there. Probably still keeping Knife Juggler Direwolf Alpha because there's a lot of tokens, and Knife Juggler and Direwolf Alpha are really good with tokens. And this sort of deck could even run both Sea Giants and Jumbo Imps. So then there would be potential to just slam a ton of big buddies on the board. The downside is that some of these demon synergy cards are quite weak on their own, stuff like Witchwood Imp. So you are giving up some good stuff in order to put in these. And even the demon token generators, Rafam's Scheme, Fiendish Circle, these are not always that great. Like Rafam's Scheme is a terrible top deck because it has to stay in your hand multiple turns before it's of use. And Fiendish Circle, if that's your 4-drop, then that's not a very big one. Nonetheless, I'm really excited about Zoo, especially in Rise of Shadows Warlock, as I have been saying in my previous videos as well. But now that we have the full set, then we can see that there are quite a few ways that you can build that Zoo. You can build it with the mechs, you can build it with other token synergies, you can try to incorporate a lot of demon synergies into the deck. And it will be interesting to see which Zoo archetype is going to be the strongest one, or even if multiple can survive at the same time. Finally, I've tried to play around with the idea of Control or Fatigue Warlock, because Warlock has this infinity engine now. There's Plot Twist and there's Augmented Elec. And if you have 2 Plot Twists in your hand and 2 Augmented Elecs in your hand, you play an Elec and you play a Plot Twist. And then you will shuffle 2 Elecs back to your deck, you will shuffle 2 Plot Twist back to your deck, and you will draw as many cards as you had in your hand, but you will shuffle twice as many. So you will never go to Fatigue as long as you can repeat the cycle. And there are some other advantages also, like Aranasi Broodmother. If you can just shuffle these back and draw them back and they will heal you every time they are drawn. There is something attractive about this archetype. But what is the real win condition? What is the real way to build this? Is Fatigue the only win condition? In this one I have included all the win conditions, but which ones are going to be kept? Because You can shuffle and then you can use Rafam as your ultimate win condition. Turn everything into legendaries and then just start to pressure. Or maybe you want to use Hakar, because you can also negate the effect of Hakar with your Rafam. It replaces the Corrupted Bloods from your own deck. But how do you get Hakar to die? Well, one answer to get Hakar to die would be to use Fellord Betrug into Plot Twist. So then you redraw your Hakar, it's summoned, a copy of it is summoned by Fellord, which dies at the end of the turn, so you guarantee that your Hakar is going to die. So there's Fatigue, there's Pressure with Rafam, there's Corrupted Bloods from Hakar, quite a few things. But how is the Warlock going to survive? Warlock has a lot of nice removal things, but they come out a little bit late, maybe. Now, this one runs Doomsayers for early removal, there's Hellfire, then there's hard removal in the form of Voodoo Doll, Siphon Soul, even Twisting Nethers, Lord Godfrey. There's a lot of good removal here, but if you're facing something very aggressive and you would need removal earlier, I was considering running some kind of discard package, because there's Shriek, and then there's like Soul Warden to get some of that stuff back, but I couldn't really figure out how to fit all of that in. So it will be interesting to see how it all turns out. Then this one is also using Safeguard, the new Mech Taunt, very scary Mech Taunt, and of course Ciliax, and Ciliax can even magnetize on the Safeguard. So Control Warlock is really something that's very interesting to try to build for Rise of Shadows, but with losing Spellstone, losing Gul'dan, that does mean that Control Warlock is a little bit short on healing. And losing Defile means that it's a little bit short on these cheap board clears. So will it actually be possible to make it work? Is it going to look like this? Is it going to look a little bit like this but cut some win conditions, like maybe the Elec Infinity engine is not needed? Maybe Rafam, Hakar type of stuff is enough? Or maybe it should include Shriek and some sort of discard package. Either way, there are some tools definitely left to build a Control Warlock type of deck. And once the expansion comes, I will try to make it work. That's all I could come up for Warlock for now, so many variants of Zoo, some alternatives on how to build Control Warlock, and then there's those portal shuffling demons that perhaps could be used in some kind of deck, but I have not been able to pinpoint how exactly they would be used yet. I will go through all the classes before the expansion is playable, so stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.